Beep, beep, beep. Arthouse. What's up, guys? Let's see here. Mean mugging. Maybe we'll get mean mugging on here. Let me see if, yeah, he's typing something. I gotta pull up Facebook. Yeah, I was talking to, hey, check this out. Look at this. Hang on a minute. Camera action. Boom. I'm over here now. Hey, I'm over here now. Hey, 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 hey. Let's go with this one. I was talking with the king of the realm, and he said, give him a heads up next time I go live, which, yeah, he hit me up like late as shit last night. I think he said that. No, he messaged me at 11. I messaged him back at like 12:40. Woke up in the middle of the night, and yeah, so I just sent him a message to see if he's sleeping. He's been away for 3 hours, so it's not a good sign. Irish coffee. So let me go to the community group, because when you guys are commenting on Facebook, oh, Dave Sheedy. Yeah, when you, hey, what's up, Dorkler? Yeah, when you comment on Facebook, I can't tell who it is. It just says Facebook user. Hey, Dorkler, do you know how that works with the, I don't know if you just go on YouTube. I multicast to the Facebook group and the YouTube. So I only see like who the person's name is on YouTube. And maybe you saw your meme. Yeah, I don't know. What are you talking about here? You talking about Eric? Oh, what's up, mean mugging? So you want to come in, man? Oh, he's at his son's scout event right now, but you could tune in. All right, cool, man. Yeah, look at this. This is the source of my sunglasses. Hang on a second here. My eye doctor. Oh, there we go. Yeah, we got these. These are the old classics. My eye doctor. These are like the free giveaways when you get your annual contact lenses. So it's kind of funny. I like rocking those. I think they're actually pretty slick. But yeah, people love the horn. So, you know, we had that today. I got, I don't know if Koyubi? Is that how you say his name? Koyubi? I don't know if he's around. He was talking about the sleeves that I got. So if you guys are interested, we can play around with that. And, is this the right angle? Should I go like that? Yeah, maybe that's better. Yeah, so I did like a live, another unannounced live like you're seeing right now, and I demoed the dragon sleeves that I bought. There's like a re-sleevable, and then, oh, we got Mirror Realm today. Let's go Screaming Skull. That seems, I think that works a little better with the cards for contrast. But anyway, yeah, I was doing the, yeah, let's get some lights going too. Wait, hang on. All right. That helps with the cards. It makes me look pasty as hell. Yeah, so I was, what was I talking about? Yeah, with those sleeves, I got the resealables. I demoed that, and then I got the Dragon Shield clear mats, which I'm going to use for artist-proof cards and high-end cards and stuff. So Dorkler says, basically on Facebook, people have to approve StreamYard before it'll show their names. Oh, yeah, no one's going to do that. I don't think like the average person even knows what StreamYard is. I didn't know shit about StreamYard before I built a YouTube channel like the past, I don't know, 6 to 9 months ago. If people don't want to approve StreamYard, good practice is just assign each comment like this. Okay. Yeah, so if you guys insist on communicating through Facebook and not Sorcery, or not YouTube, you can, yeah, you can just type your name there so I know who's talking. Most people just join through YouTube, so I think it works out okay. All right. Yeah, so what do you guys think? I'm going to get back to like organizing my cards here like we were doing last time. I was trying to stack these by artist because I need to get these scanned into the system. And then I can mail them out to people, like some of these early playtest cards through probably like all the Patreon members and yeah, just like from time to time some random people for various reasons. So I think I showed these last time. I got these. Check this out. This is sick. So I got a bunch of these cards from Severin. Why is it? Oh, is it upside down? No, I'm holding it upside down. Yeah, so wait, I don't need to be this big. Hang on a second. All right. No. Yeah. All right. Yeah, so I got these Philosopher's Stone. These are A6 prints. Really beautiful, like postcard or postcard and greeting card style. They're almost like postcards. They're on like a pretty nice kind of thick stock, like you'd get on a postcard. And that's the classic Philosopher's Stone, the original version of the painting, not the Kythera galactic version we recently did. And then on the back, she put this like little decorative emblem thing of the Ouroboros and the stone inside. This is actually like the jewelry piece that she created as a necklace, and she made I think 7 of them. I want to say I think 2 of the guys in the sorcery community picked those up, probably the last 2. So that was pretty awesome. They got this like nice pendant necklace that we saw Severin wearing with Vincent Pompetti when they were at a show in France. So she signed these friendly yours, Amites, Severin Pignot. And then I write a little message and send it out to Patreon, usually with like some interesting cards of some kind. So I got a bunch of those. And I'm actually talking with Lindsay Crumette to maybe collaborate with her on a project like that as well. Maybe with... I like Ancient Dragon, personally, from her. But everybody loves a Cult Ritual. So we might do a series with a Cult Ritual and have Lindsay sign all those and send them out to Patreon supporters, and then there's some randoms for giveaways from time to time. Yeah, you got it, Lewis. That's awesome. Too fluent. Yeah, you and I think Cedric in France got one too. So that's pretty sweet. Let me see. I'm probably going to have to zoom out a little bit. So I need to organize these, and then, like I say, I'll mail out some of these playtest cards to various people, and one of those Philosopher's Stone greeting card prints. All right, so what's going on? Cosmic Seeds, what's up, man? Pardukes? Yeah, those Galactic Peace Stones did look sick. Yeah, a lot of people said that they like the Galactic Stone more than the original, which is pretty cool. I mean, I'm glad people loved it that much. I think... I was trying to see. I guess I sold all of those and I mailed them all out, so I don't have a version to show you unless I went to the desktop view. But yeah, we don't have to do that right now. So we talked about this Infernal Legion last time. Got some nice Lindsay cards. I'll show you as I hit some bangers here, like this Doomsday Device. Man, that's an early playtest version, But yeah, amazing. So I'll be working with, let's see, Mikhail, Vincent. Melissa Benson's not selling her art-proof cards for a while. I think she's going to hold out. And then we have Elvira Palakowska. I'll be working with her. We'll see about Francesca. Doug Kovacs, man. I haven't connected with him too much. Not much at all, in fact. But Kaio. Be working with Kaio. Potentially Jussie, Pilkis, Dan Seagrave. So I was going back and forth with Dan, and you guys were flooding him with like inquiries for these art proof cards, which is understandable because he's incredible. All his art's amazing, so it'd be awesome to have any of his art proofs. But he had no clue what they were. So people were hitting him up, and he was like, when he does heavy metal album covers, what happens is they give him like a little sampler of like what the art's going to look like on the album, where they put like the band name and like the title of the album and whatnot. So it's more like what a sample card or test print typically is. It's just kind of like a demonstration of what it's going to look like. And so it's just like a throwaway. It's not like something of value that anybody would collect. So he thought that's what these art proofs are. And I think to compound and confuse the matter further, I think like what I'm hearing from some of the artists is that Eric wrote that they would get samples of their cards, so it was a little nebulous. They weren't called artist proofs. So for one, like someone like Dan Seagrave, he did 2 cards for Magic the Gathering ages ago, and that's the only TCG work he's done. A lot of the artists have never done TCGs at all. So they don't know like the terminology and the lingo. They didn't know what artist proofs were. They didn't know what sample or test print cards were. So they didn't know to begin with. And then the contract says samples, but what was really meant is artist proof cards, of course. So, they're just further confused by the terminology. But they're starting to understand. Like, I don't know. So Aranja art, I mean, I would gather Rafaela Ketch. I would presume that she didn't really know what those art proof cards were, what they were intended for, if I had to guess, because to my knowledge, I don't think she's done any TCGs before. So she listed hers on her website for $45. People bought it out instantly. I think she probably listed 5 to 10 or something, and then they sold instantly. So she doubled the price to $89 for the basic lands, and then what was it, like 100, 150, something like that for Atlantean Fate, and then they would sell it again instantly. And then like a few minutes later, she'd post, and she'd keep jacking up the price, and Atlantean Fate ended up going for like, what, 300 to 350 at its peak, 350 I want to say, somewhere thereabouts. And even then they all sold out. And then the basic land, she did the 3 deserts for the fire decks. And is it the fire decks? The deserts. The 3 desert arts, or is it 3 or 4? I think it's 3. So she sold all those. She sold everything now. The Atlantean Fates, I think she auctioned like 1 or 2 last Atlantean Fate cards, but she sold all of her sample cards already, which is wild because some of the artists have not even received theirs yet. I don't think Andrea Modesti has received his. I've been talking with him, and I sent an email to him recently. He's a super nice guy. I love Andrea. We always have like a nice little conversation, and he appreciated me reaching out because he's had some health issues recently. He hasn't been feeling well, and he said he's waiting on the proofs, but he's, since he's been sick, he's way behind on his commissions for Eric. So he's not going to be doing art proofs for a while. I don't know when. No timeline on that. I think, Mikhail Nagy-Paul, I'll work with him to offer art proof cards. And he's doing like a big exhibition in Slovakia in mid-July. So he's doing a lot of original paintings to prepare for that, and that's got to be his focus for the next few months. And then art proofs will be available maybe in a few months. I don't know, latter part of summer, early fall, something like that for him. But we got Vincent Pompetti's probably making the most headway. He's painting a lot of his. I think he's going to send me like a few, up to a handful, up to 5 of every card of Andrea's, or excuse me, of Vincent Pompetti's, and excuse me, Elvira is doing ink sketches and paintings on her cards. It's kind of a slow process. I mean, that Dream Quest that I showed in the socials, like Sorcery Contested Realm community Facebook group and the Collector Arthouse Discord, and the Art Proofs and Altars page, that took her like 4 hours to sketch that. That's a very significant undertaking because there's so much detail. So it's a slow process. Lindsay Krumet here, looking at her card. She has not received hers just yet. There's like maybe a handful of artists that have still not received their cards. So I've heard that they've all been shipped. I believe that was confirmed. And now it's just a matter of where are they? I had something shipped to me from New Zealand, and it went to California, and then it went back to New Zealand. And actually, my Fire Avatar of the Realm painting did the same thing. Like, it went to California, got to customs, and then they sent it back to New Zealand because there was some, like, snafu, I guess, with the declared value or some nonsense or, like, the post office out there or something, the customs department claimed that they had called me to, like, verify what it was and its value or something to that effect. I never got a call, but they told Eric's team that they tried to call me and I was being unresponsive. So they were probably just bullshitting to cover their own ass. But so that was unfortunate. It just took longer, Fortunately, there was no damage. It just makes you nervous, like when it goes back and forth such a long distance. So that's what's going on with my sample cards or artist proof cards. And Major Explosion, that's an awesome one. So that's kind of in limbo, going back and forth. I don't have those yet. Some of the artists don't have it yet. Perhaps that's why, if there were customs lags and stuff. I think Jussie's dealing with that, and some of the other artists. So that's the status on art proofs. Working with Severin. She has hers, so Severin's going to be working on her. She has a lot of awesome ideas, you know, like the autumn unicorn. She's done a lot of work paintings with unicorns. That's kind of like one of her specialties. You know, all the nature type stuff. She's got all kinds of ideas. Like with the Philosopher's Stone, she's going to be doing some cool stuff. Like you saw when I showed the Asombre book, her art book. You go see it like on the channel here. I did a live, a couple, 2 or 3 lives ago, like an impromptu live. I talked about, or I showed her book, and we went like page by page, and I pointed out the work, the prior work she had done before Sorcery that was then kind of inspired some of the work in Sorcery. And yeah, like one of them was like this pendant that she used for the Philosopher's Stone. So she'll see that. You might see like the hand holding the pendant necklace with the Philosopher's Stone. She might do a sketch or painting of that on one of them. Just some examples, things like that. She'll draw inspiration from other works. Do you know if all Relentless crowd cards were given out? None were given out yet. Oh, you mean like, I don't know if you mean assigned to people or shipped. None have shipped yet, but I don't believe all 100 have been given away and declared just yet. So, yeah, I don't know that for certain, but that's the impression I get. And it's kind of interesting, like this latest contest that's going on for the cosplay, so to speak, where you kind of like mirror an image from one of the cards. They're offering alpha product for that. So they haven't said exactly what or how much, but yeah, I thought it was interesting. It wasn't like a Relentless crowd prize for that. So I don't know if that's indicative of anything. Love Infernal Legion. All right, so that's Mike, Mean Muggin and Mike talking. You're talking through Facebook, so I wasn't sure who it was, but I got it up on my other screen, so I could see the comments there now. All right, let's see. So, have we seen a curio card yet? No one knows, man. I mean, in theory, there could have been one open. When Sophie and Jens interviewed Eric, he said that the probability is very low. So that was kind of an indicator. I mean, there was only, what, a handful of boxes, full boxes opened, and then like 3 packs here and there. So, you know, it's probably low odds to get anything, even like any of the foils. So I guess it's not an indicator of the rarity of curios, but I do anticipate that they're probably pretty rare, and we don't know what they are, so it makes it even harder to know if we even got one. Where is that cosplay being held? Is that an online thing? Yeah, so they announced it in the Discord, but what they said is to post in the Facebook group. There's a Sorcery Contested Realm official Facebook group. There's like 600 members or so far. They stood it up maybe a month ago. And I don't know, they're probably trying to grow that and drive traffic to that is, I imagine, why they said post there. But then like some of the guys in Discord were saying like, oh, you know, like Facebook's pure evil, like Mark Zuckerberg is the devil. They didn't say that. But, you know, they're very anti-Facebook. So they're like, hey, can we post in Discord here? So now people are posting it in the Sorcery Contested Realm official Discord. And you can go there and, you know, post there. You can see people are posting it there, so you can see it in both places if you're not on Facebook. All right. Let's see. Team Covenant opens a curio card? What do you mean? No. So there's a lot of confusion over that. Team Covenant, so Steven was opening his boxes, and he was saying things like, oh, is this a Curiosa? He was calling it a Curiosa, which is pretty funny because it's called a curio. So I don't know if he was just joking. Like, sometimes that's like a tactic. Like, I know Rudy does shit like this all the time. Like, he'll call Frank Frazetta like Frazuda or like he'll just butcher his name. Everyone knows Frazetta and like how to pronounce that, right? But he'll butcher his name because then people will comment in the thread, and that helps feed the algorithm and make the video more visible. So I don't know if Steven was like being strategic with that comment or if he was just joking around, but yeah, he kept saying like, oh, is this a curio? And then on like when he pulled a foil, he was looking at the back, the full art. Like, here you go, something like this, and he was like, is that a curio? And yeah, I don't know if he just didn't know or if he was like, you know, being strategic with that comment, but those are not curios. I don't think if he pulled any, he didn't know it. All right, it's a long ass winded overkill explanation. I imagine it would stand out, the curios. I don't know. We really don't know. That's not necessarily true. it could be that they are very subtle, and I think we've received hints and indication that that may be the case. So we just don't know. It could be anything, really. All right, let's see. Do we have any? Yeah, you're good. All right. Yeah, we just don't know, guys. All right, so do we have an Elvira stack? The mix cards are beautiful. What I'd be curious, guys. What is your favorite of the 4 mix cards from Elvira? If you could chime in on that, I'd be curious to know. I'll let you guys. I don't want to bias anybody's answer, so I'll let you. I already said like several times on channel what my favorite is, but I will not do that today until you guys chime in. You let me know. I'm curious. All right, Seagrave. We got Truitt. I'll be talking to Truitt after he gets off work today. We're talking about approach to selling his sample cards or art proof cards. I got to stop calling them sample cards. The Spear of Destiny, one of my favorites from Andrea Modesti. I love Andrea's stuff. Such an awesome story behind that card. Just look it up on YouTube. Type in Spear of Destiny. You'll find tons of information and content about what that is and the awesome history behind that. All right. So we got Vincent Pompetti again in the list. So, hey, mixed bag here. So, Sorcery TCG UK likes water. Dorkler likes Ignis. Pardukes, am I pronouncing that right? He says mix air or water are the coolest, I think. Only fantasy cards. Is that a channel? Do you have a YouTube channel, man? I've seen your name pop up. I think on, are you on Instagram too? I think I've seen you liking the posts. Mike Umstead from Mean Mugging and Games likes water. Yeah, and I think, all right. Yeah, thanks for popping in, only fantasy cards. So yeah, we got something. No one said, oh, okay, someone did say air. Air or water are the coolest, I think. So we it's funny, like everyone picks something different. But that's cool. That's why the game is fun and great. There's a lot of diversity, a lot of scratches every itch, like every opinion or every stylistic preference. That's why it's great to have variety in the game and not be like pigeonholed into a specific style guide type approach. It just makes the game more flavorful and diverse. Really fun to collect and to play with too. When cards are in play, you get to enjoy all this art, which is awesome. Did I group these already? So we got Matthias. Discord Zombies. Do you guys have a favorite Matthias Frisk artwork? I gotta rank Scored Zombies. I don't know. It might be Scored Zombies for me, but it's really tough because the oh shit, I'm gonna blank on what is the name of the card now. Of course, let me go to Collector Arthouse here. Oh, where's my keyboard? Yeah, I love the Scored Zombies. That's definitely up there. I mean, Exorcism's really incredible. I think, yeah, it's always hard to pick even your favorite amongst one artist. Like someone put out a thing in the Sorcerer Contested Realm community Facebook group recently on what is your favorite card, like from a play perspective and or an art perspective. Just an impossible answer. But yeah, the card I was thinking of is Wrath of the Sea. That is just really, really incredible, the amount of detail and the finished quality of that. So Matthias is posting all over Facebook. He's at the Graveland. It looks like a metal festival basically. So his band Van Held is performing there, and it's cool. He just posted a little while ago. He had like a artist lanyard pass. So it's interesting. They gave him that tag as artist even at the show. He shows up as the show as the lead singer of the band Van Held, and plays guitar and sings, I believe. But he's got this like artist lanyard. So I'll have to ask him later like what that actually means. If he's doing something art related at this show, would be pretty cool. All right, so a lot of people chimed in with their favorite mix card. So I'll tell you, my favorite is Ignis. So I'm on the same page with Dorkler. But yeah, it's kind of like splitting hairs, I gotta say, because they're all awesome. They're all great in their own way. Yeah, well, what is your favorite Matthias Frisk card? I'd be really curious what people have to say on that. I was gonna I was going to work with him to bring Mortality to auction. It used to be called Death, but he got like a great offer from a local guy in Sweden, where he's from. So he decided he was like, "Hey man, I'm sorry I hate to do this because we kind of had an agreement to auction it." So it's nice of him to reach out and talk to me about it. But I was like, "Dude, just do it. Hook up your local community." Vincent Pompetti did the same thing with a couple art proof cards early on to a couple of guys that visit him at a local show, like right as he got his art proofs. So there's been a couple of those out there, and someone I just worked with to commission Vincent for the pirate ship. He's going to make a new painting of pirate ship. We always do like a little different take, not an exact replica. So what he's going to do is get the pirate ship, and then since he was buying a painting commission, I made a deal with him, coordinating with Vincent and this buyer to get the pirate ship painting and also the pirate ship art proof and the Captain Baldessari art proof. So on the back of the Captain, so let's start on the pirate ship. On the back of that art proof, he'll have Captain Baldessari, symbolizing like he's the captain of the pirate ship, which is awesome. And then on the back of Baldessari, he'll have the opposite, the pirate ship, painted on the back of that, and then they'll kind of like accompany each other or blend. The concept will blend across the two, and then it'll have the original or have like a full up traditional painting of a new take on pirate ship from Vincent, and then he could display that with the two cards, the two art proofs, and then the two regular cards from the set. So I can't wait till he gets all that and gets that framed up. Vincent's going to be working on that and probably finish it by mid to late June, and then maybe, within a couple months after that, we'll see what that looks like all framed up. Be awesome. All right, Kyle Calazans. I thought we had a drone dairy in the pile here. Man, look how many. Do I have too many piles here? Yeah, I already got an Elvira pile right here. That's a problem. There's a lot of artists in Alpha. That's what makes it an awesome set. Yeah, you love the artwork on Mortality. That's a big one. Let me go back to the Facebook page so I can see comments. All right. Yeah, that's one of my favorites too. Mortality. Wrath of the Sea, I'm just super impressed with the finished quality of that one. But Mortality's one that really jumped out to me, and also Scourge Zombies. So Scourge Zombies was released revealed pretty early on, and then they revealed Mortality much later. So I was really into Scourge Zombies. It was probably the first one that really struck me from Matthias. Both Mortality and Exorcism were introduced and revealed later. So I sold the Exorcism one for him and Minor Explosion. Seeing both of those in person was sick. Minor Explosion in person, man, I just didn't want to sell it. I wanted to buy that one, but stuck to the deal and sold it. But yeah, it's tough letting that go. The good news is a store owner in upstate New York, Albany, New York, bought that one. And I think he's going to display it in his store, which is awesome. He just got it framed up and shared it in the Facebook community group. So that was super cool. Looks great. Picked a great frame for that. All right, where's Tony at today? He's got to be sleeping. Should I call him? I could call him. I might wake him up. He might like that, and maybe he'll jump in. Let me see. Let me call him up real quick. Maybe he's just away from his computer or keyboard. Hang on. All right, hang on, guys. Call the king. See if he wants to pop in. It's ringing. He didn't shut off his phone. Maybe we'll wake him up. Probably better if it went to voicemail. Hey, Tony, what's up, man? It's Mike Servati. I'm live right now, kind of like impromptu type thing. So you mentioned give you a call if you might want to pop in. I don't know if you're sleeping or what. It's 11:30 in the morning. So yeah, if you get the message, just text me or hit me up on Facebook Messenger, and I'll get you in here. All right, take it easy. His voicemail is funny. It's like, hey, it's Tony. You know what to do. We'll see if he pops in later. That'd be awesome. Sometimes it happens. You never know. All right, later, Sorcery TCG UK. Good seeing you too, man. Thanks for popping in. Whoever owns Vault of Zool painting, I'll take it off your hands. Yeah, you know, I don't know if you remember, Mike, but I sold that one to a Patreon member. So, like, Tony reached out to me one day, and he was like, hey, I need cash. Looking to sell Vault of Zool and a Nui Undine. So I hit up the... oh, no, I lost the feed. Hang on a second here. Page crashed. Are we still live? Someone comment in. Let's check your camera and mic. Oh, that's not ideal. Hello. All right. Did that crash? Are we still live? Someone comment if we're... Oh, okay, still live. Yeah, it was weird. My whole, like, website page crashed. Your browser can't access your devices. So you guys can hear me okay? Oh, hang on a second. I don't know. I got the website back up. Still good here? All right, so you got me and overhead cam? I guess it's just laggy or something. All right, thanks, guys. Yeah, what was I talking about? I got flustered now. Something about Tony? I can't even remember what the hell I was talking about. Matt Thames. Didn't we see some of his stuff? I'll resume the story if someone reminds me what the hell I was even saying. All right. Vault of Zool. So yeah, he hit me up. He said he needed cash, so he like wanted to sell them quickly. And I opened it up to the Patreon members first. You know, sometimes I do that just to give them first right of refusal or the opportunity, you know, before I mention it publicly. And then they bought it up like within the day, I think it was. Pretty quick. It was a good deal too. He probably sold it too low, to be honest. That's what happens when you're in a hurry, unfortunately. But yeah, so it was Vault of Zool and a Nui Undine were the two. So there's two patrons that have that. If you go to the, I don't know if I showed it in the Facebook community group, but if you go to the Collector Arthouse Discord, you can, I posted it there a while back. Just maybe do a search for Vault of Zool. I don't know. If you guys want to see it later, just hit me up and I'll show you. Because the one guy he framed, pretty certain he framed a Nui Undine, and then I think the other guy framed the Vault of Zool too. Yeah, that was another one. Like, I should have just bought one of those. But I don't know. When the artists reach out and they want to sell something, I feel compelled to sell it if I didn't think to ask first. You know, I'm not trying to like leverage my relationships with artists to try to like have first dibs on stuff. It just feels unethical, not right. So they want to open it to the public. That's what we do. All right. Me not able to reach out to you faster. Oh yeah. Yeah, Mike. Sorry, man. That's too bad. Yeah. Like I have everyone that's in Patreon, I have you in a assigned role in Discord, where instead of doing like the everyone tag and hitting up to like the 500 people in the Discord, I can just ping all of the Patreon members. So you just got to like look for your notifications on the phone, and I'll always make sure that like when there's an offering like that comes, you know, from time to time that's unique like that, I'll definitely ping the whole Patreon crew and not just post it within Patreon itself, but in a Discord. That's how you get immediate notice. Yeah, I think I absolutely think he could have sold it for like double of what he did. King of the Realm sold for more than double of what Vault of Zool and Nui Undyne did. I mean, King of the Realm's an epic card, but Vault of the Zool is pretty sick too. That's an amazing artwork. All right. Epic Sanchez. That's a funny name, dude. What do you mean? You think you see a Curio? What are you talking about? Infernal Legion. AJ. Oh, that's AJ Hiller. Okay. Yeah, I'm looking on Facebook on my other screen because I can't tell who's who when you're talking to me on Facebook. So if you guys want to jump into YouTube, it's a lot easier. But AJ says he tried buying it during the shill bidding. So he's talking about when Alan the Kraken, Alan Jones, he got a pre-con kit like this from the company. So I got this pre-con kit, and this was like a content creator special design pre-con kit because it didn't come with a pack. You know, this is where you'd have like a pack included that they added later. So Alan the Kraken actually got a actual like alpha kit like we're going to get in Kickstarter. So it had a pack in there. And when he opened it, there was an Infernal Legion. Was that the... No, there was an Infernal Legion. But there was a Wicker... I can't think of card names today. The Drew Tucker Wicker Mannequin card. He got that in foil. So he like posted these. This isn't the card, but an Infernal Legion from the Alpha Precons. He posted that on eBay, and then there's this weird thing where like this guy won like a bunch of his auctions and then canceled the orders. So we thought like maybe this guy that won the auction was shill bidding to jack up prices because they were selling like surprisingly high. But then he ended up writing Alan later, and Alan posted it on Facebook and in some of the Discords that the guy reached out and he said he was confused, like he didn't realize that they were not sample cards. He thought they were sample cards and not alpha precon cards. So he said like, you know, I'll still pay. That's what you want to do. He offered to still pay and follow through with the transaction apparently, but Alan was like, nah, that's all right, man. Like, didn't think that was fair, I guess, which is cool of him. So he just reposted them on eBay and ran another auction, and they sold for a lot less in the end once people realized they're actual just alpha cards because they're just ordinaries and exceptionals predominantly. All right, let's see. Selling some art for Tony. Tony sold out of Alpha, so we'll see. He's chomping at the bit to sell some of his Arthurian Legends pieces, but I don't think Eric will let him until, you know, the artists are under NDA. They're not supposed to be revealing their art prematurely, or certainly not like selling them on the open market. I think there was a few that slipped through the cracks from Adam Burke, but I don't know. I think he was just like a little aloof or ambivalent there and didn't realize that he probably should not be showing those. So he sold like 2 or 3. And I mean, they might be for Arthurian Legends, but I think they're actually commissioning paintings for 2 sets ahead. So, you know, it could be for a future set. We really don't know. All right, did I have a Francesca pile? Man, there's like so many artists. It's hard to like even get through this in a timely manner. I don't see one. Yeah, Drew Tucker, Common Sense. Yeah, if there's a topic you guys want to chat about or have questions or something, let me know, and yeah, we'll get into it. All right, Brian Smith. In the contest, this guy did a funny thing. I think it was Sorcery TCG UK who was on earlier with the Angel's Egg. He just had like a little potato. He said he was out of eggs, so he had like a little potato on a dish. It was pretty hilarious because it was like so basic. Some of the other guys are being pretty creative with coming up with some good ideas. I know Vincent Buono put a couple out there that I really liked. He did one of Francesca Berald's pieces with the melting candle on the skull. He did a really good job of that. And then he posted another one. I'm blanking on what it was this morning. I don't know. It's a Saturday morning. I can't think yet. All right, Vasily. Got more Elvira. Mikhail Nagy Paul. I think I had a bunch of his towers in a stack somewhere. Yeah, so what's up with you guys? What do you want to chat about? Are you frustrated with the delays, or... I mean, it sounds like things are fairly close. Hopefully they're communicating conservatively, but once it gets over to ShipQuest, it's like the mystery of what's going on with this queue of other games they're trying to process. So how quickly can they get through those? How deep in the queue are they before they can get to the sorcery stuff? There wasn't like a ton of backers internationally. I think U.S. by far was the largest market, so I think the U.S. might take some time to work through, I would imagine, but it might be more manageable for other countries and not be as big of a deal. Here's Mikkel's pile. So, maybe we'll see it sooner than we think in some places. Yeah, the delays don't bother you. Ghost Ship or Blood Raven, will those art pieces be available again? The originals are sold. I'm not sure. I mean, so it would require resale. But Blood Raven, I mean, Mikkel Nagy-Paul is an artist I work with. I think I sold like 4 or 5 commissions for him. If you want to commission him to do like a different take on Blood Ravens, you can just message me, and we could do that. It's cheaper than buying the original painting from the game. So it's kind of like a middle price point where you can do that a little more affordably if you want to have original art from these artists. It just wouldn't be an exact replica of the original. It would have to be a different take, because we don't want to dilute the value of the original. And like when someone buys an original, I was talking to Ed Beard Jr. about this. There's an implicit contract between seller and buyer, seller being the artist or the agent representative they're working with, and the buyer, that will be the one and only original painting of that card. So if you do an exact replica, it's kind of a bad feel, and it could dilute the value or kind of just like the unique one-of-oneness of having that original painting. So when people ask for commissions, like I've done with Mikkel Nagy-Paul and with Vincent Pompetti, it's not going to be an exact replica. There'll be some unique variant introduced into that painting. So it could be the basis of the original, but with some, slight variant or twist that makes it one-of-one unique, which is good for that buyer for the new piece, and also good for the person that bought the original, that they both have like a one-of-one and an understanding that it won't be duplicated. All right. So hope the logistics can keep it moving. Yeah. You think Eric could tap Samwise Didier for some sorcery art? I was a big World of Warcraft player back in the day. Excuse me. Yeah, I don't know. He's definitely adding new artists, but we don't know who they are. With a couple of exceptions. He announced Heidi Talifer because she had kind of announced it herself. She went to social media and showed, I guess Eric approved her to show like a little snippet, like section of some of her original paintings for the upcoming sorcery stuff, which I think is Arthurian Legends she's working for. So then Eric made an announcement on the Sorcery Contested Realm page. There's a page on Facebook, not a group. So that's their business page. Typically, a company will have like a business page like that. There's different features that it offers on a Facebook platform versus a group. So he announced it there, and then I reached out to her. I interviewed her within like a few days of her being announced. Got in touch with her right away, and we did a real nice interview that's posted on the collectorarthouse.com website. So she's pretty cool. She's got an awesome, unique style. That's a great thing. All the sorcery artists have a very unique style. So that's what makes the set as a whole really awesome. You have all that stylistic diversity, which adds a ton of flavor and intrigue. Alt art version can be fun too. Yeah, I know you got one from your boy Truett Parrish, which is awesome. Yeah, that came out really great. Love Truett's stuff. He's a really cool guy too. It's funny, when we did the opening box reveal, I said he was 22 years old. And then he came on the show like 15 minutes later, and he's like, dude, I'm 27. I was like, nah, you're lying to me. So he just looks so young. And he just had a birthday too. So he either just turned 27 or he turned 28. I posted on the Sorcery Contested Realm community Facebook group when he had his birthday like 2 weeks ago or something like that. Because he was in the Facebook group. Like almost all the artists are in that Facebook group that I created, the community group. So yeah, it's one of the downsides of not being on Facebook. I know people are sensitive to, the idea that Zuck might be tracking you and using AI and algorithms to infer what your interests are and trying to sell you shit and stuff like that, or sell your information to somebody or whatever. But a lot of people have signed up just to participate in the Facebook group, which is awesome because it's fun. Like almost all the artists are in there, and they're active. They chime in. They're really supportive of each other. There's a real funny thing recently where where's the loose Danforth cards? So Tony, like I have this chat where I talk with all the artists, and Tony sent a message in there. He was at like the liquor store, and he had like a bottle of Crown Royal in his hand because he's the king of the realm. So he's like, here I am with my crown, and he had this like scowl on his face, looking like a badass. And then like later in the day, Francesca Berald came back with a picture of her. Tony's got this like big white beard. He's like 60. I think he said he's turning 66 in like probably 9 days now, because like a day or two ago he sent us all a message and said like my birthday's in 10 days. He'll be turning 66. So anyway, he was wearing a hat, like a winter hat, and he was doing this scowl thing. He had his big white beard. He was holding like a bottle of Crown that he was picking up at the liquor store. And so then later in the day, Francesca came, and he was wearing a Sorcery TCG t-shirt. So when he got his art proofs from Eric sent him a t-shirt like he asked for in the live event we did, the live box opening. And so Francesca Berald comes through a few hours later, and she did not get a t-shirt in the kit. So she like photoshopped like the Sorcery Contested Realm like on her chest, like on her shirt, like on her t-shirt. Making it look like she was wearing one, and she had like this towel like over her mouth, kind of like mimicking Tony's beard, and like a winter Megadeth hat. And she was like making a face like this too, like Tony was. So it was really funny. I posted it in the I think I posted it in Sorcery's group, and also in my community group, and in Collector Arthouse Discord. I asked them first if they'd be cool with that, and she was like, yeah, as long as Tony is. And I was like, I've known the king long enough that he never shies away from making a splash. So he was into it and all for it. So yeah, so it's fun. Like all the Sorcery artists are kind of like friends with each other and very supportive of each other. We've seen that in Magic over the years, where the artists kind of like share that bond of being creatives and contributing to a real fun and special project. And that's already happening, to a big degree in Sorcery. So that's great. They love working together, and hopefully they will be for a very long time. If we're all lucky. All right. Yeah, you think Trua looks 16? He looks young, man. I told him he has a baby face when he came on to the opening. All right, let's see. A lot of cards. We're barely making a dent in the box. These are all early playtest cards that I'll be sending out. So the reason why I'm sorting them is I'm gonna scan them, and I want to do that in an orderly way, because I bought this scanner. It's an Epson 402. ES-402. Like Roman numeral 2. Made by Epson. And it's really nice. Like, you load the cards in face down in the backside, and it just slides right through the scanner. There's like this roller wheel inside the scanner. So you just pop open the top, just pull that wheel right out. It's not like screwed in or anything. Just pull it right out, and it slides in smoothly, and there's no risk or damage to the card at all. You do it with like a just a penny sleeve like this. Supposedly you could do it with a top loader as well, but you could do it with just like a penny sleeve, and it goes through smoothly. Just card slides right through, no issues, no damage. It's a really clean, easy process, and then it just scans right into the software that comes with it. Works on Wi-Fi, so it's really easy to work with, and saves a ton of time when you got like all these cards to scan in. So I'm going to do that just so I could keep a record of the early development version of these cards. And then I'll start sharing them with people. The Emperor's Road. Yeah. Awesome concept. It's beautiful. The background horizon. So like when Vincent works in these watercolors, he works on like a art paper that's suitable to watercolor. And like in all his art, there's such a beautiful horizon. Underrated. You know, your eye's kind of drawn to the road and the statue. But he told me like in the back here, it's like, you see the how the road leads to that like aqueduct looking structure? This is you know, a Roman, inspired by the Roman aqueducts is what he said in the back horizon there. So it's kind of subtle because it's in the background, but the sky and the mountains, the different color he uses, really beautiful. Even here too, with kind of like the algae or whatever, like on the road, the green you kind of see here. Yeah, the use of like perspective there to show like the thinning of the road in the background. That's a technique in art, you know, to kind of show the illusion of distance and the smaller people versus the larger forms in the front. He's good, man. His artist proofs are really incredible. I love the style and the work he's doing with the art proofs. I get really excited. He's been posting it on his Facebook page. He also has an Instagram, so he just posted one on Instagram recently before he even sent it to me. And yeah, it's like your heart skips a beat when you see them for the first time. These paintings on the back of the art cards. The art proofs are really incredible to collect. It's like a mini painting, so it's a really special thing. So I saw that one he posted yesterday, and I shared it in my forums. And yeah, people really enjoyed that. Thought it was maybe the best one yet. It's like a knight on a horse. So he did it with the Overpower artwork. So on Overpower, there's like a guy on a horse and like striking down on another guy. It's really awesome artwork, and he still has that painting. So he has like a few paintings from Alpha, and we've just been waiting. So I'm going to auction those for him, but it'll probably be, we've been waiting to do it after Alpha release, but it keeps dragging on. You know, we just want to make sure he's able to get fair value for that, because we offered I sold a couple Seagrave paintings maybe like a couple months ago, and there was kind of like a lull in the market. There wasn't a lot going on. So people were kind of getting a little detached from Sorcery. I think they either missed the auction or there wasn't like a lot of bidders at that time. So it didn't perform probably is in line with what many of the other paintings have sold. So it's kind of about timing. Look at that one. So we want to wait for better supply and demand dynamics, because it's important that the artists do well on their original painting sales, because they only get that opportunity once a year with Sorcery. You know, if they do the once per year cadence. So, you know, they got to do well when they can to sustain a certain type of living. All right, Pristine Paradise. Gorgeous. Opening it up. How many alpha cards have not been revealed yet? None. We know what the whole set is. So they're not all in Tabletop Simulator, but through the box openings, they've all been open. Yeah, these playtests, these are print to play. They were printed by one of the early developers, so that's why you see signatures on some of these. I asked them if you could send me these. Because, like, the cool thing is, let me see if I could find an example. Yeah, a bunch are signed, but which is great. That's cool. So it's like, you know, these aren't, like, meant to be sold. I'm not going to be selling these. I'm going to give them away to Patreon members and other people, randomly. And just keeping some for my own collection because I'm into like history, like the sample cards. But see, some are marked up. So as the team was doing the development, they were making markings on the card to change aspects of the card design. So that's what's cool about it, because some of those came between Tabletop Simulator updates and were never like revealed in Tabletop Simulator, so we could see some of the interim design evolution. And it's kind of like someone that likes being like a historian of the game and delving into that history and really understanding how things have evolved. I like to document that, keep an archive of it. So I'm going to scan them in and, I don't know, post them on the website so we have them for reference. How many alpha? Oh, yeah. So I read that one. Yeah, all the alpha cards have been revealed. Jenny Skunk says, you see this game going nowhere. Just buying the MetaZoo. Oh, is this like a MetaZoo spammer? If you're not like just a troll, I'm going to let you run with it and state your case. I don't know. Maybe you just love MetaZoo. But yeah, I'm curious why you're down on the game. We could talk about that. But if you're the guy that just likes, or gal, Jenny, that just spams MetaZoo, then I'm going to have to shut you down so you don't overwhelm the comments. When will you write your book on the history and art of the game? Man, that would be like a me. Where the hell did my do I have a Marta Molina pile? That would be a massive undertaking. I would say that I consider my website to be that for the time being, because I have a lot of interviews with artists and a lot of art stories, a lot of behind the art stories that I've gotten from the artists. So it's kind of already happening through the website, and then just be a matter of collating that information. That would be cool to like do it into like an art book, or differently formatted and organized narrative with illustrations about the history and development of the game. No spam. All right, so Jenny Skunk, you're down on Sorcery? What don't you like about Sorcery? Be curious to know. Or do you just like, or what do you like about MetaZoo? Why do you think it's better than Sorcery? Or why can't you enjoy both? It's all right to enjoy two games. The site is a great document. Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, so it's just super busy between maintaining the site and all the social media platforms. Spent a lot of time in the Discord chatting with people, and the Facebook community group every day, which is let me see if we hit 1,700 people yet. We're at 1,698 members in the Sorcery Contested Realm community Facebook group. So two more people. If you guys could share that link, if you're on Facebook, let's get to 1,700 today. That'd be really awesome. Really great milestone to get to 1,700. And I'd love to get to 2,000 and far more than that, of course. But it would be really something to get to 2,000 at least in this calendar year. We'll probably see like an acceleration after release, I'm sure, once the cards are on the street and more people get exposure to it. But yeah, it's pretty awesome to get to 1,700 before the game's even out. All right, I bought 2 cases, but I don't see it having a strong future, so I'm selling to buy into more Zoo. Yeah, but why don't you see it having a strong future? Is it just what is? I don't want to guess. Just tell me what you don't like about it. Curious to hear the some people say like this is a big echo chamber. Of course, people tuning into an event like this. So it's always interesting to hear, I don't want to say naysayers, but people that aren't as bullish and into the project, like why that is. the counter perspective. All right, so Emperor's Road, another one of those. Yeah, for starters, I set aside a bunch that I had duplicates of, and just started mailing those out to people because I didn't. I'd like to do that in some reasonable amount of time, but if I have duplicates, then I don't lose the opportunity to scan it and archive the history of it. So some people have already received some are on the way. Yeah, Jenny bought 2 cases. So there'll be interested buyers if you want to move those. Yeah, if you're into MetaZoo, that's cool. MetaZoo valuations are not great, but if you just like to collect it or play the game, then all power to you. But yeah, I don't follow it that closely, but I heard the game is not doing as well, and people post stuff on Facebook and different forums of the price dips and things. I actually had some that I just kind of speculated on early on. I was never really into, obviously, like that kind of art wouldn't resonate with me, but I'd speculated a little bit, knowing that Aoki was involved. So I think I have like, not the Kickstarter, but like the first base set or whatever they called the first set. Got like 1 box of those, and like, I don't know, maybe 6 or so of Nightfall, was it? First edition? Did they do a second edition of that? So if anyone is into MetaZoo and wants to trade for Sorcery, I would love to do that. I also have like a lot of like Flesh and Blood sealed stuff. And I'm not into Flesh and Blood at all, so I'd be happy to move on to that from that as well. All right. Do you know how Vincent Pompetti will be releasing his artist proofs? Will you be handling artist proofs for some folks? Yeah, so Vincent, we're going to auction like artist proofs, at least in the early going. The thing is, like these artist proofs, they take a long time to do the paintings on the back. So we're not going to see like 25. There's only 25, technically 29, because the Forward Avatar of the Realm pledge tiers got artist proofs as well, like a complete set. So let's call it 29 of every artist proof. The artists themselves have 25 copies of each one. So we're going to, and some of them did like 20 plus cards for the game, So they'll paint like a few of each card because everyone's gonna have a preference of what they like best and want like a different one, right? So most of them are doing like a few copies of each one, and then they'll mail them to me, and then I'll feature them on the YouTube channel here, and offer those through the Sorcery Contested Realm Community Facebook group and the Collector Arthouse Discord, where I mirror the auctions for people that don't want to use Facebook, and the Artist Proof and Altars Facebook group. So yeah, they'll be auctioned, and there won't be like a lot of copies of each. It'll be far and few between. So kind of limited opportunity, and then many of the artists don't want to sell all of them. They'll keep like probably. Most of them are going to number them 1 to 25. They'll keep number 1 for themselves in most cases, and then offer the others, but very slowly. It could be months or maybe even years in between. Like we might not sell all of them in this calendar year even. So you could kind of, if you're into it, you got to jump on it when the auctions come up. So yeah, I'll be working with you asked which artists. So the confirmed artists would be Mikhail Nagy-Paul, Elvira Shakarova, Alvera Palakowska, probably Matthias Frisk and Marta Molina to some extent, unconfirmed officially like what our approach will be there. But yeah, Vincent Pompetti I'm working with. Looking around at the cards to see if I forget anybody. Lindsay Crumat, Truett Parrish. I mentioned I've been going back and forth with him, but I'm going to give him a call later this afternoon and figure out, like, the thing is, like, a lot of the artists are busy commissioning with Eric for future sets, and they don't have time to like do all the paintings right now either, or sketches, so it'll be incremental. They got to mix it in with other priorities, And it can be kind of tedious, like painting on these small cards, doing so many. They have 25 copies of each card. It did 20 cards. That's like hundreds of cards, so it's going to take a long time for those to even become available. And we'll do it incrementally. But Severin Pignot, of course, I'll be working with her. And let's see who else. I don't know. A few others are just haven't confirmed yet, so I'm not officially announcing those. But yeah, probably like 7 or 8 artists I mentioned there at minimum for starters. Yeah, Jungle Rumbler wants his cards. Yeah, we all want our cards. Should I keep my boxes or sell to buy vintage singles MTG? I don't know. What are your goals? Do you see TCGs as an investment? Do you want to invest? You should buy index funds and stocks probably. If you want to speculate, then TCGs are fun to speculate on. Magic is a much more well-established game. Upstart indie games have a lot of risk and excitement around them, so there could be more volatile. But yeah, vintage Magic, I guess, holds its value reasonably well, and it's logical with the supply and demand imbalance that should do well in the longer term. And then Sorcery is kind of like how passionate are you about it? How much do you believe in the future of the game is what that would come down to, because as the game grows, the supply is finite, it's fixed, but the demand grows as the game grows. So as you have more buyers, prices can appreciate. That's kind of, basic economic supply and demand dynamics. And with artist-proof cards, there's only 29 copies, so they're extremely rare and limited. So as the game grows and demand grows, the valuations of those have the potential to grow with it. All right, Jenny Skunk. Is that your actual name? That's tough. That's tough if that's what it is. I think people only bought into Sorcery because Fab and MetaZoo did so well. Yeah, you could say people only bought into MetaZoo because Fab did well and kind of popped off, or because Pokemon exploded, or because Magic exploded in the Black Swan 2020 era, when the government was just spraying people with stimulus and free money and loan forgiveness and low interest rates, so people could do HELOCs on their home and borrow basically loans against their mortgage principal and speculate, spin those funds into flipping products that were coming out and being worth like far more than their initial value. So you have a low cost basis and you instantly get a multi-X. Like that happened in Sorcery. Like we didn't know that it would spike like that, of course. So you had to kind of roll the dice on the Kickstarter. But people bought those boxes and now they're worth like a multi-X more, So easy tendies, as they say. But yeah, that's kind of like the nature of the TCG industry. It can be volatile and explosive, and also crash hard, if the game fails or interest wanes or the company doesn't execute. It's kind of boom or busty, So it's just a matter of what you believe in. And if you have faith in the mid to longer term prospects and the near term prospects, if you just want to flip it. But if you want to collect, if you just like the art, then sometimes the intrinsic value is enough. Where's my McHale pile? It's got Flood. All right. AJ Hiller says, if I'm not overstepping any boundaries due to the delay in fulfillment to the alpha backers, do you feel it was a marketing ploy to help create hype, especially with all the content creators and Rudy, or just merely the hand this Kickstarter was dealt? Was what specifically a marketing ploy? I'm not sure I understand the question. Due to the delay in fulfillment to the alpha backers, do you feel it was a marketing ploy to help create hype, especially with all the content creators and Rudy, or just merely the hand this Kickstarter was dealt? Are you saying that they intentionally delayed? Are you asking if they intentionally delayed as a marketing ploy? I think if that's what the question is, this is the artwork I was saying is incredible from Matthias. I would say definitely not, because I think it is more damaging than helpful to delay. And I don't think the company has any interest at all in FOMO and hype around their game. I think they're actually probably not thrilled about the secondary market valuations of sample cards. They want alpha. They've stated very clearly many times that they want the alpha product to be the flagship product. The problem is they printed, limited sample cards. Artist proofs are always limited. That's a niche, so it's not a big deal. That doesn't detract from alpha. It would be like saying like these paintings are worth a lot. So, would they be upset that people are buying original paintings for several $1,000s instead of buying several boxes with that money? I mean, no. So I don't think it's a big deal, but I don't think they're interested in inflating the secondary market and causing delays. And I guess you'd be implying maybe they're creating pent-up demand with those delays. I don't think that's the case at all. I think they want to capitalize on the momentum of Kickstarter as soon as possible, get the product out as soon as possible, to build awareness while there's interest and excitement around the alpha product. So I think they're highly motivated to get beta out as soon as possible as a follow-up to the alpha release, because a lot of interest has grown. There's already been a lot of growth, even since Kickstarter, of people wanting the beta product. They've been chomping at the bit and pounding the table that they want that. So, of course, they want to meet the demand and get to market as soon as possible to be able to sell that beta product. All right, Pokemon is a dead game. MetaZoo is its replacement. Oh my god, that's hilarious. Yeah, Pokemon is a monster IP that has been absolutely thriving for many years. So you may not like it, but it ain't dead. It is not dead, man. It's funny. All right, Brian Smith, Dan Seagrave. Look at the greens. I love like the green colors. I think certain artists have their favorite paints that they use, and you could see that in Dan's work, right, where you get that green in the background. Really beautiful. It's got that in a lot of his artworks, even outside of Sorcery. You see that a lot. My friend wants to trade his unlimited Black Lotus for my pre-order of one case. Are you joking right now? That is sick. You got to be joking. I would do that deal especially if you have more than one case. Black Lotus is just the most iconic. It's huge. All right. Someone asking if Tony's awake. He's been away for 4 hours on Facebook. I'm monitoring it here, and I left him a voicemail. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping he could join us at some point, but we'll see what happens. The case should be valued more than an Unlimited Lotus. Yeah, it's just the Unlimited Lotus is like super iconic. So if you grew up with Magic and that card's meaningful and special to you, then it's a nice opportunity if for what you paid for a case. There's also there's current valuation, and yeah, you can like turn that into money, but there's also the perspective that you bought a case for what, like $700 or so. What was the Kickstarter price on a case? It was like $120 a box because it was discounted a bit. So, there's six boxes, so a little over $700. Let's call it $750. That'd be like buying an unlimited Black Lotus for $750. If you equate it to your cost basis, which is pretty amazing. But then you look at net present value. The alternative is you could just sell the case and then use that money for something else. Or if you love Sorcery, then it's going to be hard to replace that case, right? Or you'd be hoping that there's a retraction in pricing, which is a double-edged sword, because now you can afford the Sorcery cases and the product, but it's worth less, right? It's worth less, not worthless. And if it's depreciated in price, it's done so for a reason, which might not be a good sign. Or it could just be like an oversupply issue, or a lot of people bought the Kickstarter to flip it without genuine interest to collect it or play it. And that's fine. That I don't think that hurts the prospects of the games at all. So that is probably a best case scenario for prices to come down and for people that want more to buy more. But if it's going down because of poor execution from the company or because the product's not resonating with the masses or something like that, then that would be a worst case. But I think the risk of that's very low because the art is so great and the gameplay is so fun. All right, one nice side effect of the delay is the shortened time between alpha and waiting for beta. Yeah, it was funny. One of the guys that owns the store was like saying he's worried that I was weird by this take. He said he was like worried that beta was going to come out too soon after alpha, and that would be a problem for him to sell alpha in his store. But there's like insane demand for alpha, so I think that's only relevant if there's like a massive flood of supply of flippers dumping alpha that a store would have to compete with. But I don't think anyone should be worried about selling their alpha. Like I think there's like tremendous demand for that. And beta coming out soon after is going to be a bonus because a lot of people are going to get exposure to the product. You'll see growth in sorcery as a whole, and like a larger market is good for everybody. If from a valuation, like an investment or just value of the cards perspective. All right, this guy's talking about. I sent a message in the chat here. There's guys chatting up the Collector Arthouse Discord. I want to make sure they know that we're live and see, hopefully, if they can join us. So let me shoot a message out there. Or if one of you guys, I guess I could ask one of you guys to do it. All right. All right, Francesca Berald. Wait, this is did Francesca do this? Yeah, I was thinking for a minute that maybe this was the Doug Kovacs one. But I think Oh. Hey, Jack. Maddie! Come back. Sorry, guys. The kids are out playing. My 5-year-old and 2-year-old just stroll across the street to the neighbor's house. But the wife's taking care of it. Always something going on. When you got 3 little kids, always some chaos. All right. Who's Marco? All right, what's your favorite card art? Oh man. Transman here, 6'4", 270 pounds. That is a big Transman. Has Sorcery Team said anything about having a reserve list like MTG or their plans to do reprints in the future? That question has come up. Eric said that he didn't really fully address it. He kind of generically said that, like, as a vintage MTG collector, he's very. He made a comment like to the effect that he's very familiar with the pros and cons of having a reserves list. So it's something he will take into consideration, be mindful of, and other plans on reprints. Well, let me get to that in a minute. So back on a reserve list, that was the one comment he said about that, and then he said there's kind of like an implicit reserve list in his commissioning structure for the art because he has 10-year license agreements with the artist. So the artists own the copyrights, and then he has licensed that work. And look at that banger. He gets it for 10 years, and then he can't print it anymore. So it's kind of like an implicit reserve list was his point, I guess. Or their plans to do reprints in the future. Well, beta is a reprint. So that's one answer. That's like a full reprint, basically. And then there's going to be a revised set, is what he has said. And that will be a reprint, but with more changes, So I imagine in that one, we will have cards added, I don't know about added. potentially added, cards removed, potentially alternate arts. You know, there's a lot of paintings. You know, I know like pretty much almost all of the artists like quite well. And so I've seen like all of the work they have done, almost all of the work they've done for Sorcery, either just through conversation with them or like self-discovery. You know, I've just done research and found it across their socials or wherever. And there are cards like so like the Rivers that Matt Thames did, you got Marta Molina did Rivers as well. The Mountain Pass card that ultimately Eric went with Marta Molina's version of that. There is a version that Aranja Art, Rafaela Ketch did of that. So all of this is to say that I think there's a high probability of alternate arts being used and revised, would be my guess. Otherwise, Eric spent a lot of money commissioning those artworks, and he didn't do it. So, yeah, door clear. So what happened with the open boost? Did open boosters open a second box? Yeah, dude, I got the worst box. I didn't get like any hits basically in foil, I mean, I got ordinaries and exceptionals. I didn't get any unique foils or elite foils. So did was it Dan from Open Boosters, or was he with his buddy there, Edwin, as well? And did he show a little emotion this time, or was it like another like ho hum, like, oh yeah, look at that Rift Valley, simple village. Oh, it's the village. You know, the first one was like, I love that. I love those guys because they're so old school. But like, he had no emotion. He didn't seem like he could care less about what he was doing. So I was disappointed. You know, I was hoping they'd be all for it and really support this game. Oh, it was both of them. So like, did Dan act the same way, or was I imagine was Edwin a little more excitable at least, or like did he see like he was genuinely into it? Oh yeah, there's the Far East Assassin that Severn did. And there was, yeah. All right, where's my Kaio pile? I had some Kaio cards somewhere around here. I'll put it aside. I don't see it. Oh, here we go. Would have been priceless to see Eric's face as he first saw the initial paintings. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Eric's so stoic. I don't know what that would be like. He's not very expressive, you know, so I don't know. I had it on silent most of the time because I was listening to this. Oh, that's cool. Thanks, man. Yeah, I'll watch it back later. Yeah, maybe that's why people bounced or have been coming and going, but hopefully if they're done, that'll come back in. Was it a live or was it a recording? I didn't know that was coming. Did they announce that? I guess I don't follow their channel as closely because they're always talking about, like, the vintage Magic stuff is cool. The Fab stuff I don't care about at all. So when they're opening Fab or talking about that, I just could care less about that. So I don't follow them as closely as some others. That's what I'm saying. Mother Nature. Beautiful. Cornerstone by Margaret Organ Keane. Recorded. All right, cool. I'll watch that. I'll watch that later. It's not too stoic. His smile gives him away. Yeah, every time you get a little, or every once in a while you get a little smirk out of Eric. They cruise through the ordinaries way too fast. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what their deal is, man. I don't know if they're like just not that into sorcery. I'm really surprised because it's such a throwback to early Magic. I thought they would like eat this game up and absolutely love it, but especially since they like got into Flesh and Blood, and they're not just players, you know. They like to collect, but they also like to invest and speculate. So, I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna take to it or not. Thought it would have been a slam dunk, but it's hard to say. All right, let me see. Yeah, still no Tony. So what were some of the hits they got? Did they get some big time bangers? I'll watch it later since it's a recording. Keep rolling. Ron Art. So she sold all our samples. I don't know if I have a pile for her. Look at the River of Flame. The great artwork of Ian Miller. 2 cores and a stone. Jesus Christ. It's ridiculous. Man, the boxes some of these people are getting. Was it a non-foil stone? Or did they actually get a foil stone or foil core? Ooh, foil Aegis. Wow. That is epic. Yeah, man. Some people, I don't know. Maybe I'll have better luck with it. I'm not complaining. It was a free box. So it's super exciting. But and I'm very grateful for the opportunity to be able to do the event that I did. But these guys are getting banger boxes, which tells me maybe it's just a fluke, maybe it's a collation thing, but there are better boxes to be had. So I have some great openings to look forward to in the future if I had to bet. So I got 4 cases from the Avatar of the Realm kit, and then I think I got an additional 2 cases. So I got like 6 cases times 6 boxes, 36 boxes. I'll open a bunch on the channel. And then when we get into beta, I'll probably crack a good bit of those. Arthurian Legends, I want to open a ton of those. So I'll be doing a lot of that. Yeah, my box had a Frazetta Uniques and a Curiosa. That was great. Yeah, I got 2 Frazetta Uniques. I got a Curiosa non-foil. I was happy to get Chaos Twister from Francesca Berald, since it's kind of like the Chaos Orb of Sorcery. I definitely got a lot of great non-foils for sure. Yeah, so it's like, yeah, you're right. It's kind of splitting hairs on these uniques. Would you rather have like a Philo Stone or the cores as your uniques, or the Frazetta cards? You know, I think you'd get, if you ran a survey on that, you'd get different answers. I'm just partial. I mean, Frazetta's a legend, and I love his stuff, but like I love the living artists, because like I have personal kind of like friendships and relationships with them, so those just excite me more, honestly, than the Frazetta cards even. So anything I get from Severin is an absolute thrill, and likewise from Melissa Benson and Elvira Shakarova and all those great artists that are still with us and doing amazing work and will be for a long time. So Ranja, big pile of deserts. Let's see. Sounds like Curiosa could be the true gem of Alpha. Yeah, maybe. I mean, like, there's speculation that Eric's Curiosa will be removed from beta, which seems logical, that Eric would retire his namesake. I mean, he was quick to move on from the elemental avatars and kind of memorialize those in a way, so that would not surprise me at all. Yeah, so that's a great card to have. I definitely agree with you there. All right, where's my Ian Miller pile? Yeah, all boxes are good boxes, because all the foils, it's hard to get any of the foils, because all of the 400 cards have a foil, so it's really difficult to get them all. So they all feel great when you pull them. All right, we're actually getting through the stack. So this is the last of it. This is a pretty meaty pile, but I think we can get through it, get these organized. And then when I get some time away from the kids, we'll get these scanned in and start getting some out to people. Ooh, so I do have a few Curiosas. That is really exciting to see. Early playtest version, signed by a developer. It's awesome. Wasn't there others of that? I think I might have a couple copies of that. No, not here. Oh, here we go. Boom. Look at that. That's pretty interesting. One is darker than the other. Can you see that coming across camera? So I don't know if they were printed at different times, or let's see if they read the same. Unique relics gathered from forgotten places. Summer in a corner void. When the Curiosa, the font size seems a little different too. Or maybe it's just like it's probably just the color values make it look different. It's an illusion. When the Curiosa is picked up for the first time by an avatar, that avatar's owner draws 3 spells. This destroys the Curiosa. Yeah, it's great to have a couple copies of those. with that card in particular. All right. So we got Rolling Boulder from Jussie, Elvira, Marta. So Marta's got the Polar Explorers. We had a Pristine Paradise earlier. Francesca. So I think, where's the Francesca pile? I thought I only had one Mountain Giant. I forget if I set that aside for Cedric. Let me see. These are the ones I'll be shipping out for sure. Because I pulled aside duplicates. So I could, like I say, so I could get those being sent out without delay. Because I'm not sure when I'll get around to scanning them. But, no, that was the first one there. Wasn't one in that set. Yeah, and then just the one so far. Okay. All right, Tony Sudlow. Per usual, not a whole lot of Tony cards for some reason. Got the Autumn Unicorn. This is a really cool one from Drew Tucker. That's the one I pulled while I had him live on my channel for the box opening. Beautiful card by Vincent Pompetti. This Critical Strike is money. That one's cool because there's a few markups on there. You know, the casting cost change and then a word crossed out. So they want to simplify it and streamline it to say Ordinary Magic. Court Jester. You guys like this card? What do you think about the art on this card from Liz Danforth? Liz is going to be at the IX Art Festival or IX Art Show, not a festival, in Reading, Pennsylvania in October, and I will be at that show. So is anyone going to IX Art Show? Comment in the comment thread if you're going to IX, because I'd love to meet up with a bunch of you guys there. Jesus, they got a key theorem mechanism too. Someone's just telling me. Yeah, and they said they were just opening stuff and they were kind of ho-hum about it because they had absolutely no clue like what the hits were. Just like skipping on by. It's crazy, man. I don't know. Maybe it's just too early. They got to kind of learn what's going on with this game. That's the thing, you know. I was talking with I talked with Ed Bear Jr. a lot, and called him like a week or two ago, and he was telling me this weekend actually he's at the at a Renaissance fair down in, I think it's in Tennessee, I want to say, and he was telling me that a lot of people are coming into his tent. You know, it's a Renaissance fair, so he's got like this tent set up, and he's got a lot of his he's selling prints of his Dragon Lord set, and there's huge demand for that. He's not able to tell people that it's for Sorcery. Oh, look, I double sleeved this one, I think, because of the NDA and the agreement with Eric. But just on the merit of the art alone, there was massive demand, King of the Realm, for those Dragon Lord paintings. So it goes to show like how great that artwork is. If you're in the Ed Bear Jr. Patreon, you get to see him paint these live, and people are absolutely loving that artwork. He actually just opened one for early Patreon exclusive. I can't say what it is because like when you join Ed Bear Jr.'s Patreon, there's an implicit agreement. There's an NDA you have to agree to because he's showing like NDA stuff with the understanding that it's private and personal for Patreon supporters, and it does not give you the right to share that. So that's why I don't do screenshots or like share stuff he's showing. It's a privilege to be in his Discord and to see him paint live that I'm thankful for, and it's a lot of fun. And you get to see it, you know? We don't have to wait and wonder when it's coming out through actual Sorcery. It's really cool to see. All right. Joe Thems 1 says, if you don't know how the game works, then you can't judge the cards for the hits, but could purely enjoy the art. Yeah, I know. So I don't know. That's why I'm surprised, like why they're so casual ho-hum about it. I thought they'd be like loving the art for vintage Magic. So, yeah, I don't know. Ooh, Marine Voyage by Marta. Beautiful artwork. Dude's messaging me while I'm live. I don't know why he's joined the live. They pulled the Aegis foil, Melissa, Elite Dragon foil, Jesus. Wow, what a sick box. But they're pretty self-aware about being clueless. Edwin likes it. So, of course, Edwin's a good guy. He likes it. Dan is like, magic, flesh and blood. He's not on board yet. Got to win him over. All right. Mikhail got quite a few of his. It was like 4 packs in, and he already had a mix and a core before I got busy and I had to pause. Yeah, so pretty banger box that Open Boosters guys got. Good for them. All right. Aussie. There's a Sudlow. The Anui Undyne. All right. Mikhail. Yeah, so what else do you guys want to chat about? I think I got one stack after this one. So we got a bit to go here. And then I'll be postured to do some scanning. Be good to get these registered and archived. There we go. All right. Francesca Berald. I had an Elvira pile. Yeah, I like the deep sea mermaids are really nice. The bullfrog is pretty cool and flavorful. From Mikhail. All right, Brian Smith. All his stuff is great. Brian's the man. I think he'll be another guy that'll be slow rolling the artist proofs for sure. So, not sure when we will see those. A lot of the artists are going to be taking it slow and easy on artist proofs. It takes time. They kind of want to assess the market valuations, get fair value for it. So they'll be rolled out incrementally in phases, like I say. And it's just awesome. Every time we'll see, and it makes it more exciting and fun, too, to see the commission painting on the back. It's really exciting. Blue Ridge Silverhound. What's up, man? That's a new name I haven't heard before. You got a logo. Does it say BRSL? It's kind of covered by the little YouTube thing. So do you got a channel? Cannot wait to dive into this game. The alpha boxes are going to be worth the wait. Yeah, absolutely, man. A lot of people are frustrated with these delays and things, but I think all wounds will be mended once the product is in hand. You know, because I've been very blessed to see it all. Original paintings, original sketches, sample cards, pre-con alpha cards, regular alpha booster box cards, really every category, and it just gets better and better. And like every one is like a step up. You know, the sample test print cards, those are test prints. You know, so they're gonna be a little rough around the edges in some ways, but then when you get to the alpha, it's really an eye opener. Like when I opened those alpha pre-cons, those were my first exposure to that, so I was super impressed. Loved those, and then I got to get into a booster box, and that was tremendously exciting. And the quality is great. Just seeing those, the cards feel kind of slick. Like Louis was talking about it on his MetaZoo like podcast recently, and the other guy Josh that's on his channel, and they were really into it. So Joe says I'd watch that channel. Blue Ridge I was buying coins for the art also. You're buying coins for the art? What does that mean? Not sure what he's talking about. All right, Marta Riptide. That one's a little different from our others. We got Jeff Menges. A bunch of Jeff cards. Jussie Pilkis. Another Tide Naiads. That's great. Pirate Ship. This is the card I was talking about earlier. So, you know, I worked with Vincent and sold a commission to a guy, the same guy that actually bought the Sinkhole with the Lone Tower from Macau. We were able to do a deal on the Pirate Ship. So Vincent's going to be working on this, doing a different variant, like full-scale painting of the Pirate Ship. And then he bought an artist proof of the Pirate Ship. And on the back, he wanted Captain Baldassari as the captain of this pirate ship, which is really cool. And then he'll purchase a Captain Baldassari with the pirate ship on the back. So those cards will pair together. And he can frame those with the painting, which is really cool. Cool thing that people like to do, pairing original art with or actual paintings, whether they're the original or just a commission painting, with the cards. So the face of the card, and then like an art proof which is like another miniature painting and a crossover concept in this case between Pirate Ship and Captain Baldessari from Vincent Pompetti. Great artist. Enjoy the art on coins from around the world. Oh, okay. Coin collector. That's cool. Severin, the Autumn Unicorn. Beautiful. Hey, there's a Screaming Skull. Those are always exciting to see. All right. Got Dan Seagrave. Vincent Pompetti. Oh, no. That's Andrea. Oh, shoot. Have I been mixing up Andrea and I just put a few Pompettis here is the problem. Got to fix that. This is an Andrea pile. Where's my I got a lot of Vincent cards, too. I might have been cross-mixing those. That's the Vincent pile. I got to untangle this. So Andrea. Man. I love Andrea. So I have so many of these lands. If you guys want playtest lands, I will get those out to you. I could sign it myself if you care about that, but I don't think anyone cares about that. It's cool the developer signed it. But yeah, the ones that aren't marked up, I wonder if people still care and have an interest in that. Because they're early development, but yeah, the cool, unique aspect is not only just the change, but like the markups and the signature. So those would be more desirable if they had another unique personal twist like that tied to it, I would think. All right, The Pudge Butcher by Brian. All right, Brian Smith, Drew Tucker, Andrea Alvera, Elvira, Drew. Is this the last of it? This is the last of the pile? Wow. Getting through almost all of it. Couple other stragglers that I had there. So I got Vasily, Alan Pollock. So we got 7 people on. Yeah, these unannounced are kind of hit or miss. And unfortunately, we couldn't get no word from Tony. 5 hours now with no Tony. All right, Vincent Pompetti. We had up here, right? Vasily. Alan Pollock. Got a couple earthquakes. Ooh, look at this Midland Army, man. So much change on this one. So you got a lot of markups with the casting cost. An increase to the threshold kind of penned in there. And a lot of changes to the text. That's an awesome epic card. So, hey Mike, my laptop can't handle TTS. Any advice on that? Or do you think they'll be webcam games available once cards are distributed? So you're trying to just watch people play games? They used to do that in the official Discord. And I haven't seen much of that as much recently. They did that before they had like the league play stuff going on. So I don't know if those games are being played privately or maybe in the player channels, which I don't frequent as much. I like to just talk more about the project holistically and not specifically about the game as much. But yeah, I don't know. This might be time for a TTS or a laptop upgrade. But yeah, you want to play yourself? Yeah, I know. It's tough. We got to wait potentially another month or two before we can get the cards. If you ask in the official Discord if you're in there, or on the Facebook community page if you're on there, feel free. Wherever you want, people will be able to help you for sure. Webcam will be tough due to the positional nature of the game. Not sure how it would work. Yeah, I'm hoping like the filming of gameplay will mature and get a little more polished. Because I feel like if you don't know anything about the game and you just pop in and watch others play, it's pretty difficult to follow what's going on. Because they're not always like flashing up the card in a way that you could actually see the card mechanic. And sometimes they're talking about it and stuff, but yeah, you don't always you can't always follow what's going on. Sorcery TCG UK is back, so he might be able to help answer your question. He plays a lot of TTS. So, Devin, if you see the comment thread, Sorcery TCG UK, Devin was just asking, he's saying his laptop can't handle TTS. Do you have any advice on that, or you think there'll be webcam games available once the cards are distributed? He's looking to play TTS and play against himself and maybe also watch others play. So, yeah, maybe you can answer since you're pretty experienced with TTS. Tabletop Simulator, for those that don't know. It's a way to play Sorcery, or you could just print out the print and play files are available through the Discord, and I think maybe a link through the website you might be able to check. I'm not certain about that. But you could print your own cards if you can't wait a couple of months or so, or whatever it's going to be until we have our cards in hand from Alpha, if you got Alpha coming. Yeah, keep clearing my throat here. Ah, there we go. There's another Mountain Giant. Good. So I do have 2 copies of those. Francesca Berald. All right, so we got Kaio right there. Mikhail Nagy, Paul, and finish up with some Andrea Modesti. Man, a lot of it. That tells you all you need to know. A lot of Andrea cards. Hopefully he's feeling better. Yeah, Team Covenant. They're a good partner. I agree. They do a good job of showing the cards in close up. Sadly, if TTS isn't loading on your laptop, you have to print and play. Yeah. What about so Sorcery TCG UK? I don't know if I assume you're in the official Sorcery Discord as well. I don't know if you're just on Facebook or if you're also in the Discords, but do people still play on the Discord where you can watch them play? That's what I was wondering, because there used to be channels for that, and a lot of people were doing that, but I haven't seen as much as that recently. And I don't know if that's just because the league is going on or what. Yeah, so you're saying people still do it. All right, good. So there's opportunities to watch people play. Yeah, this is what we saw last time, guys. For some reason, and I'll have to ask the developer about this, but here's 2 versions of Spear of Destiny. And one, let me get away from the glare. One has much more rounded corners than the other. So I'm not sure why that is. I'll have to try to get more info about that. But it's cool to have a couple copies of that. Beautiful. Great card. All right. So I got these organized by artist. I'm going to get these back in the box, and then I'll have to comb through again. Organized by card. So when I scan those in, the dupes are kind of paired together. Then we'll have these collated and documented. And we could get them on the site, and you guys can break down your own analysis as well of the change that has occurred over time. Which is always fascinating. All right. That's Drew Tucker. Lindsay Crumette. Didn't have a whole lot of hers. Ooh, Ancient Dragon. Beautiful. And a couple Snow Leopards. All right. Yes, paper webcam will be very difficult and will most probably have to wait until they release an online game that can support competitive play. Yeah. Really, the trick of it is to show the cards and do the narration to support what's going on in the gameplay in a way that people can understand what's happening and kind of enjoy it. I always thought that Hearthstone did a really great job in their tournaments of showcasing the cards and the gameplay and the commentating that they do. It was always like very polished and well done and easy to follow and understand. And I don't know if that's because I played that game for a while. Or I think they just showed it. Like you could actually see what the cards were and what the mechanics were. And it was just a lot easier to follow. So there's kind of like an art to it. Like how a news anchor has a certain approach, right? Or whatever. YouTubers and stuff. They articulate things in a way that's logical. So we got Gadu. There's only a couple Gadu cards that I have in this lot. The Geyer Hippogriffs and the Bull Demons of Adam. Matthias Frisk, Francesca. Hearthstone was a fun game for a while there, but it's also very trolly and aggravating. Too much RNG. Like fantasy football. So I got away from that one. It's one I actually played though. You know, because a digital client, you know, so it's easier. You just pop in there and it's easy to just pop in and get a few games in. You know, even when you're multitasking, you can be sitting on your couch, you like do it on your phone. Play on your phone, play on your iPad, whatever you got to do. The family's watching TV and you kind of just tune out, let them watch what they want to watch, play some games. Not a big time commitment, more casual, but addicting. So you kind of get bamboozled into wasting your life playing too much anyway. All right. So first phase of organization is kind of in the books. And then when I go and scan these, I will have to, oh no. What's this? Shoot, there's another pile. I'll have to deal with that later. How did I end up putting those up there? Ah. All right, I'll deal with that later. See if there's any interesting cards. Oof. Self-same simulacrum. Hey-oh. Philo. Philo Stone, baby. Book of Kells is a great one. Self-same simulacrum. Simulacrum. So that's how you're supposed to pronounce it, apparently. Oh. Orb of Bell Birth. Beautiful. Land deed. Yeah, that's a nice lot right there. All right. Completely agree once Sorcery is fully released and settled. And I truly think an online game will be the final step. Yeah, there's definitely opportunity for that. And you know, who could possibly pull that off? Eric? A guy that designed a video game? I would say so. And I think his co-creator, that's kind of behind the scenes, quiet guy that we never hear from, Nick Reynolds, is quite talented himself, and would be able to help with that project. And then hopefully they can hire some developers to make it happen in quick order. All right, so I missed a few. I got to get those organized, and then I got to sort by like cards, and then I could get those babies through the scanner. Get some Philo Stone cards out to people. And some cards. All right, guys. I think I'm going to bounce for a bit. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. Always good hanging out. And we got to get these cards, guys, because like I'm really chomping at the bit to get the artists back on and be able to do an opening with them, more openings with them, and talk about the art history. And you know, so like I said, with those art proof cards, I'm gonna be working with like a lot of artists to sell those through auctions and other means. And then when I get them, maybe I'll get them on the channel is what I'm thinking, and have a discussion with them and showcase the art proof cards and the commissions they did on the back, and get their stories about how they came up with those concepts. In some cases, we'll work together to come up with the ideas. In many cases, they'll come up with their own. So it's great. But all right, thanks, guys. Yes, it was cool hanging out and interacting. Always fun. Appreciate your time and interest, and talk to you soon. All right, take care. See ya.